Okay. Hi, everybody. I am Blake Cabot. I am the owner of FacePaintcom. And if you haven't joined us before, we do this on every Monday, or most every Monday, as Linnéa and I were talking about earlier. And today we're doing boy heroes. You know, too many times we do princesses, tiaras, flowers, but there are boys out there, darn it. And we can do boy heroes as well. And most artists are not crazy about, boy heroes, but we're going to see some, special art for those superheroes that boys like to be. That said, the board that you're looking at right now, that's not a boy. I just want to say that for the record. It's not a boy. We only have one boy board. So even though we're doing several designs here, just understand that if that was a boy, that would be different. There we
go.
Sorry. Anyway, here we go. Linnéa, take it away.
Thank you, Blake. Good evening, everyone. It's evening here in Sweden. I'm very, very excited and happy to be here today for my third webinar for FacePaintcom. So the theme for today is boy heroes. And as you can see on the board, it's not a boy. I'm so sorry about that, but I only got one boy board, but you're going to see him later, I promise. So I know that a lot of you are not so fond of painting boy designs, but I love boy designs. I love superheroes and I love to paint them. So, and I know that the designs that are most requested are maybe like Batman, but I did a girl hero webinar for FacePaintcom, and I painted that girl there, and it's very, very similar to my Batman on the job design. I just switch out the colors. So if you want to see Batman design, you can watch the girl hero webinar.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I also made a Spider-Man on the job design there with the sponges. I made a Spider Girl on that webinar. So if you want to see a Spider-Man with sponges, you can watch it there. But the first design for today will be another Spider-Man. I'm going to use one stroke for this one, and it's going to look like the person is transforming into Spider-Man, like if the skin are like ripped. Okay, so I asked on my Facebook page what designs you wanted to see, so I got some ideas. So I hope we're going to paint 3, maybe 4 designs. We just have to see how much time we got. So have your practice boards ready and your brushes ready. I got my Avengers t-shirt on. And
cool.
Oh yes. So we are ready to rock. Okay. So I'm going to start with using a 3/4 inch flat one stroke. This one is it's Natalie Davis brush, but it looks a bit different because I got it at EFAB when I met her there. So it looked a bit different, but it's the same brush, I think. And I'm going to use a red and black one stroke. This one is the Pirate Red from Susie Amaro. So I'm going to wet my brush, scrub off the excess water, and we're going to load it. You can use angle brush for this as well.
And which split cake is this made by?
Pirate Red.
From?
It's Silly Farm.
Okay,
Fab. Cake, Susie Amaros. So we're just going to load it. And we want to load it really well. This Spider-Man design is perfect to use if you want to make a super quick Spider-Man for little boys that don't want the eyes painted, or for a bigger boy it will look really, really cool on both. I'm going to show you some example photos afterwards. So I think we got it nicely here. Okay. You can always check out the consistency on your hand. Great. So we're going to start, and I'm going to have the darkest color, black in this case, on the outside. And we're going to start right up here, almost in the hair, okay? And we're going to make some wiggly moves so it looks jacked, okay? So. Okay, so we are like framing the eyes. So we are not painting on the eyes on this one, but of course you can use the white eye for the Spider-Man first. I'm going to show you some pictures afterwards so you see what I mean. And here I'm just going to twist it just to connect it, okay? And then we want to have something here. Can be cool. Okay, so this is step one. And now we have a lot of red here at the tip. So we're just going to fill this space in. You can use a sponge if you prefer that, of course, and a single red. Okay.
That looks great, actually. I mean, I've never, I mean, it's sort of a clever way of using, rather than frame as sort of a mask around the eyes, you're sort of using the hairline.
Yes, and it's very, very quick to do it. And the boys love it. And the girls, of course, you can use a pink one if you want to make like a Spider Girl effect. So now I'm using a number 2 round brush. This is from Lowell Cornell. And I've loaded it with the waxy black. So, and we're going to imagine that this face has the Spider-Man mask underneath the skin. Then all the lines will be connected to the focal point here. Okay, so we're going to paint the web lines on the red part. So it looks like she had the mask underneath the skin, okay?
Okay.
So this one, you see, it will go to this.
So where's everybody from? I see France, I saw England, I know best outside Chicago. Because we have pizza in our neighborhood. It's a little early in the States. Normally we do this later. But it's a good time in Sweden.
It's a great time in Sweden. All the Europeans are happy. Yay, we can paint.
Yeah, Europeans are happy.
So now we got the first lines here. And now we're going to connect the lines. So it will look like Spider-Man design, okay?
Netherlands, Florida, UK. Okay. You know, that's a really clever way of doing this. I think that the problem with Spider-Man is there's just an easy Spider-Man mask and it's incredibly boring. And for most people, because they've done, I don't know, 5,000 of them and they're sick of it.
Yes.
So it's definitely a different take on it. And as a result, it'd be a lot more fun to do.
You can always twist a Spider-Man design. I've done like a Spider-Man cat, ripped Spider-Man cat, using sponges, using powders, using one strokes, half mask, full mask. You can make a lot of fun stuff with it. So I'm just going to add some mini cracks here. Okay. It's not, you don't need to do this. On the job, I often skip this part because it looks good anyway. So, but if you get a little bit more time, you can make some funny details. Okay. And now we are going to put a little spider. You can paint it by hand, or you can use like a Spidey stencils, of course. So I'm just going to, you can put it here, or you can paint it. I'm going to paint it today. So. Because not everyone got a Spidey stencil.
Not everyone.
No. So a body, tiny, tiny head. And then we're going to paint the arms.
And what's the number of that stencil?
This stencil, I think I got it from Queen Noreen.
Okay, so it's spider. See if I can find it.
So we're going to have 4 legs, bigger legs here, and 4 mini here.
We got Mexico, Germany, Arizona.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And just to make it a little bit more fun this evening, we're going to add some stars. I love stars. I think it looks cool. Just to make it a little bit more different. We can't make the same every time. Okay. So I'm having this star stencil. This one is from Graffiti Madness.
New Zealand? Somebody's in New Zealand? What time is it in New Zealand? And Texas. Go Horns. 9:13 in the morning. Not so bad.
Good job. Oh my God. So now we're going to add some white for highlights. So I'm using, I think this one is the number 3 round brush and waxy white paint. And we're going to make some highlights on the web. The highlights are making it a lot more fun, I think. It's just a little bit more time, like in half a minute, and it makes such a big difference. So take your time to add some cool highlights. It really makes the design pop. I always make that tip for board designs to use highlights, and if you got even more time, you can paint the hands. Or
somehow your camera is out of focus. Can you just tap on the screen or something? Maybe it'll improve.
Let's see.
There we go. That's back in focus. Great.
Okay.
And Brazil and New York. There we go.
And here you can just
Magda, I hope you're doing better. She's I know Magda well, and she has COVID.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
You have to stay safe, take care of yourselves, and hold on. We can do this together, right?
Maybe it's Valentina watching. I don't know which one. It could be a daughter.
So here I'm just adding a little bit of white on the edges, just to make the skin look a bit up. So, and I added some highlights for the spider as well. So, and you can always, if you want to make it a little bit more fun, you can also add some dots on the design.
Oh, in Minnesota, go Vikings.
So there is the first design. That's very quick, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How long would that take you on the job?
Maybe 3 minutes.
Okay.
Maybe. Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
So cute. So now we're going to moving on to our next superhero. And here we got the boy board.
Well, let me just say a few things about what we got going on with FacePaint.com. Just one second. We've got a 12 days of Christmas daily giveaway. We're going to give $25 gift certificates for one of each of the 12 winners. So that's going on FacePaint.com right now. And we also have a holiday face paint design contest. You could take these designs and post in the contest. And if you're winner, you would get $100 worth of face paint. So just two things we got going on FacePaint.com. So continue on, please. And now we have a boy instead of a girl doing for boy designs. There we go.
Oh, yes. I promise you to show you some pictures of the ripped. Here I used like pink instead.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And super quick on a boy, on a little one. I want the eyes painted.
Oh.
Here it looks if you added the eye. I did this one on my son Jack last week. I call it Ice Spidey. Yeah. So you can and this one is the sponge version of it that you can see in the Girl Hero webinar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now we're going to paint this little boy here. And I got a lot of requests for Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
So of course we are going to show Iron Man.
Absolutely.
If I'm painting on the job, I often do a quick one-stroke version of it. But I know that not all of you got one strokes and some of you prefer single colors. Mm-hmm. So I thought that this design will be, I will make with single colors. So I'm going to start, but I'm using a one-stroke brush anyway, because it's already got the edges, the squares, and I'm used to paint with it. So I'm going to use this one is a 3/4 inch brush, and I'm going to load it with red. I'm using a red from Superstar. It's called
which red?
Runny Red. It was called before. I think it's like Carmine Red. I think the name changed from Runny Red to Carmine Red. So
yeah, we've got Carmine Red.
Yes, so that one. It's a perfect red one for Spider-Man. So I'm loading it with that one.
Mm-hmm. Spider-Man or Iron Man?
Yeah, for both, of course.
Both, of course. There we go.
So we're going to start with the forehead here. And we want this mask to look very symmetry. So we're going to alternate from side to side. Okay, so we don't have like, yeah, you understand what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start here, making a line in the middle here. And then we're pulling this one up towards the hair. Okay, like this. And then just fill it in. Okay.
Okay.
So you can have like, you can put on your own guidelines just so it looks symmetric. Okay. And now we're going to make one more line here. So you can take from the eyebrow to the hair. Same thing on the other side. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to twist the brush.
Oh, the brush is Natalie Davis, right? Davies.
This one was the face painting shop, but you can use any 3/4 brush that you want. This one is short angled. I prefer to use. I think I got more control with the short one.
Yeah, and this is a 5/8 brush or a 1-inch brush?
3/4.
3/4. Okay.
Mm.
Because we sell that too. Although we've got a 5/8. Close enough.
Yeah, you can do it with a 5/8. I think the children got smaller faces, right?
Exactly.
It's no problem. So, and now we're going to make a little bit here on the chin here. Okay. This doesn't make any sense right now, but it will be later, I promise. Okay, and then we take 2 lines here. Okay, so there's the start.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to rinse my brush, and we're going to load it with gold. So I'm picking up a gold color. I'm using one from Superstar here as well.
Okay, and which gold is it?
I'm not quite sure. It's not old gold, but the brighter one.
Okay.
It's more yellow gold. I can show you. I got it in this one. That one. This one is old gold, and then one, and that one is bronze. So
I think that's, if I'm reading this right, I think that's goldfinch.
So I'm just going to fill this space in here with the gold.
Mm-hmm.
And here, of course, if you want to use sponges for this one, of course you can use sponges. It doesn't matter. It's what you prefer. Okay. And then we're going to make it like it goes down a bit here.
Glitter gold. Okay. You think it's glitter gold. Thanks, Tina.
I don't think this one got glitter in it, but it's the same like base color that the glittery one. Because I got the glittery one as well. I thought I bought all the Superstar cakes when I was at EFAB. So I just had to try them all. So just fill this one up with gold. Okay. Mm-hmm. You can just blend this part in here using a sponge to blend it in. Okay.
Okay.
And now I'm going to take a smaller brush, maybe let's see. Sorry guys. Maybe we can take like we can take the 5/8. The 5/8 brush. And now I'm going to use a single color. Of course, you can use a 1-stroke here if you prefer that, but I promised single colors. So I'm loading this one up with silver paint, and this one is also from Superstar. So I have loaded it here, and we're going to just in the middle here and on the other side. Okay. Okay, and then we will want some half circles here. Okay. Something like that. And now we are moving on to the line, the eyes. So, you know, Iron Man, he got this bright, glowing eyes.
Right.
So, and I always I recommend not to paint the boy's eyes with brushes because they are little squeakers. So, but sponges often works fine. So
Mhm.
I'm loading up a petal-shaped sponge here, and I got this shimmering blue paint. It's called Mystic Shimmering Blue, I think, from Superstar. Or you can use like a Siva blue. Oh, I think I will go with the Siva. They're gorgeous, both of them. Okay, I take the Siva. I think it's more popular, that color. So this one is Siva blue. And I'm just dabbing this on the eyes.
Now, when you're painting a three-dimensional child versus a two-dimensional child, how far underneath the jawline do you go? I mean, how far back are those red spots?
I just follow like the cheekbone.
Okay.
So I'm not painting the neck. I'm just painting like the cheekbone.
You mean the jawline?
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks. Sure.
My English
One
is so.
of those things. It could be either one.
Yeah. So, and here is just the, yes. So from the hair, we don't want like bright skin colors here. So the boys are not afraid to get a little bit of paint in the hair, right? So don't be afraid. You can also
Ruth
paint the hair.
says that Ziva blue can stain some.
I have never got that with my boy. I always use Siva blue on the eyes, and there's never a problem. Maybe it's how you are rinsing it off, maybe, but I haven't
It
got
also just depends on skin, and various people's skin is just different.
maybe
I mean, it can be
maybe.
very different how that all works.
But if you don't like the Siva blue, you can always try the Mystic blue. It's a little bit more darker. You can see here, I loaded both of them up. This is Siva blue,
Mhm.
and this is Mystic blue shimmer. So it's a little bit more darker, but it looks gorgeous when it's on because it's also a bit shimmery. So you can always try that one, or a baby blue, shimmering baby blue.
Mhm.
So there are alternatives if you don't like Siva. So now we are going to make some line work. So I'm taking
Is Mystic Superstar as well?
I'm loading a number 3 round brush here with waxy black.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Ruth.
So we're going to ask the boy to close their eyes. Good boy. Okay.
Otherwise, they get really cranky.
Yes, of course. Just to frame the eyes there, okay? Okay, and then we're just going to outline this part. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to outline the silver parts as well. You know, Iron Man, his name is Tony Stark. He was first appearance in the comic books were in 1939.
Really?
So, yes, so he's been along us for a while now. He's one of my favorite superheroes. I think I got a secret crush on Robert Downey Jr. maybe, so I think That can be one reason of
Yeah. Well, that's okay.
it. I mean, he got this super badass armor and his suit, and he's got this cool attitude, and he's very intelligent, and I think
He's a pretty good actor. Yeah, for sure.
okay.
That's a
So,
clever Iron Man mask.
huh?
Yeah.
And the best thing is that the mouth is never painted. I always avoid painting around the mouth because I want the kids to be able to eat without ruining my painting. So that's always so even if Iron Man mask is a full face mask, I always paint it like just a half mask. I think it looks really cool. So this step
So Karen says that looks great.
thank you, Karen. This is here I'm using a mini blending brush from Chameleon. This step is, you don't have to do this step, of course, but if you got some time, if you paint your own children or at the birthday party, maybe you want to make a little bit more effect of it. So I just want to show you. I'm using a slightly moist wet wipe and just dabbing a little bit of it. And then I'm just blending it in a little bit.
Is it the Mateo #2 or Mateo
this
#1?
This one is it's Chameleon. I think it's called a mini blending brush. But I know that Mateo got a really nice blending brush as well. So
well, it's Chameleon Mateo #2 long blending brush, but one of them.
So just blend the lines a little bit, and it will look really cool. Like I said, this step is it's not necessary, but it gives a little bit more shadows, a little bit more depth. Like if you don't want to use one stroke, you can get the wow effect with the blending brush instead.
That's great. Sarah Hill says that's a really cool, fast design for Iron Man.
Thank you.
Magda says divino.
And now the most important step, and that is, of course, the highlights. I love to use highlights, and I love also to use stencils. You can add stencils here if you want, like a small dots or anything, but I'm keeping it a little bit more simple this time.
Sure.
And if you want to make it really, really cool on a boy, you can paint the energy fields in the hand palms or on the chest on the boys during the summer. Maybe add a little bit of UV white on top, and it will blow their minds. They really, really love that. So if you get time over it, just some white circles here, and you will make their day. Okay.
Cool. Serenage said she did this design not so long ago, and whoever she was painting loved it.
Oh, all the many boys here in Sweden loves Iron Man. They think they're really cool. So
it's true.
It's very. I paint this design often on the boys, or a one-stroke version of it. I'm going to show you some pictures later. So, and now a little cool effect you can do. And you can take, if you got like, you can use a finger sponge if you don't want to use the brush, but you can just do like this on the boys and just dab it with your finger. And when the boys are closing their eyes, it will give a really nice shiny effect. Okay. So the Iron Man is done here.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm?
Fantastic.
I'm going to show you. I painted this one on my boy.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Nice.
You got the full body, of course.
Oh,
He is not satisfied with just the face. Okay.
he looks great.
And this is the one-stroke version of it. It's super, super simple. It takes like maybe 3 minutes with the outlines. So you can see the effect on the eyes here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look really cool. Okay.
Okay.
So that one was Iron Man.
Ruth
My
loves the
favorite.
blending.
Mhm. Thank you. So, okay, and now my boy boards are out, so I have to take another girl. Sorry, Blake.
We do what we can.
Yeah, oh God.
Anyway, in these days, does it matter if it's a boy or a girl? Gets a little less complicated.
Yes.
You
So,
know, I'm old enough to think it does matter.
because I'm from Sweden, I thought I just had to have a character from Nordic mythology superhero. Some of you guys wanted me to show a design of it. Maybe you can guess which
Thor.
one it is.
Thor. Yeah, aren't you genetically related to Thor?
Okay, we can say that. He's half, so okay.
I
So
think so.
here I'm going to do a one-stroke, super quick Thor helmet. And I'm also going to paint his hammer. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It can be cool. So I'm using a one-stroke here.
Mm-hmm.
This one is Crash from Onali Rivera's superhero palette. And I'm using a 3/4 inch brush here. This one is short angled. Okay, but you can use whichever you want. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to start by loading this one up. And I want to have the darkest color on the tip of the brush. Okay. So I'm loading it up right now. So Thor was first appearance in 1962. He is also known as like Son of Odin. And he got his cool hammer called Mjölnir. I think it's Mjolnir or something like that. But in Sweden we say Mjölnir. And the hammer, it can manipulate the weather and it can make him fly and transport him into other dimensions and also manipulate electricity. So
And it's called Crush. Are you sure?
Crash.
Okay. Crash. Sorry, that's that my mistake.
It's my English. Sorry.
Okay.
So I got this loaded up now. I'm going to start here in the middle. Okay. And then we want to take over the eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to paint on those. Okay. And then we are going to just move it towards the hair. Okay.
Actually, we don't have that split cake, but here's the link to Silly Farm.
But you can get it on, I think you got like Fusion's superhero palette.
Yeah, you could use the whole
Yes.
palette, but if you just wanted that one split cake,
You got the one.
you could buy it from Silly Farm too. Even though I'm not related to Silly Farm, but they're a good company. I don't hate them.
I got the whole palette. Her superhero palette is great. So, and now I'm just going to make another one, just where the paint ended here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to do another one. Like that, okay?
Uh-huh.
And now we're going to twist the brush and make the helmet. And we can fill this space in with the tip of the brush.
Okay.
So you're only going to use, you can use only one brush here if you want, or you can fill it in with a sponge. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm just going to reload the brush a little bit here with some more water. And we are going to go here. Okay, if we are starting like here with the eyebrow ended, we're going to make a little bit curve. You can have the guideline can be the tip of the nose, okay? So don't go under that one. Just so it looks a little bit symmetrical, okay?
Okay.
And now we're going to just pull a straight one like that, okay? And now we're going to make the classic wing shape of the helmet. Typical Thor wings. So we're going to make 3 lines. We got the darkest color on the top. We're going to start. You have to imagine that there's no hair here. If you're twisting the child's head a bit, you get skin here and not here, okay?
Okay.
So,
do you have a picture of what this really looks like?
Of course I got. I'm going to show you all.
Okay, great.
Here I made 3. 1, 2, 3. So they are big, medium, and small. Okay. So big, medium, and small. Okay. And now I already got the brush loaded. So I'm going to just show you the hammer before I get into the details here, because the hammer is super easy, okay? I'm just going to twist it here, okay? Imagine that this is the boy's hand, okay? So I'm just going to, just twist it. Okay? And then we're going to make, let's see, like this. Shrift, shrift, shrift. And you get the handle. Okay?
Okay.
And then it's very, very easy just to take some waxy black, outline it. Shrift.
And this would be on the neck or where?
Hand.
Or his hand? Okay.
And arm.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. And then some cool highlights. And then you can also make some like lightning bolts coming out. It will be cool, right?
Yep.
Okay. So moving on to the helmet again. Okay. So we'll be taking the black here.
Okay.
You don't have to outline it here because it's already dark, right?
Right.
So you can just highlight where it is a little bit brighter. Okay. And it's very, very quick to do this one. Very, very quick. And from the tip here, we make 2 lines. Okay.
Kathleen loves the idea of the hammer on the hand.
Ah, thank you. The boys love it. I promise you. They will be, oh, moving and playing with the hands and the hammer. They are super, super cute. So it's so quick and easy to do. And it makes such a big difference on the boys. So, and the lines doesn't have to be perfect here, you know.
There's no mistakes in face painting.
Of course.
Of course.
couldn't agree more. So, and now we're going to have some waxy white for the highlights.
Mm-hmm.
So just some highlights here and there. You can be all perfect and thinking, oh, where does the sun comes and everything. But if you are in a hurry on the job, you just want to make it look cool.
That's what you want to do.
Yes. So, and then this design was done. Super quick, super easy to do,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks really, really cool.
It does.
Right? And you are not painting around the eyes. You're not painting around the mouth.
Right.
So it will work for most of the boys. Okay.
Yeah.
And it will work for squeaky boys, the boys who squeaks their the eyes as well. Or you can go with the hammer. It's very cool. Right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, and now we got some time left. I think I got
I know.
time.
We could fit in the fourth design.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Okay. So
Ruth loves it. Karen says awesome. Can we show us pictures of what the hammer looks like? And
of course.
everybody, yeah, Ruth was saying she really likes the pictures.
Here is my boy as Thor. So he got his hammer here, and I added some yellow lightning bolts here.
Oh, of course.
Here you go. Too cute, right?
He is so cute.
So I'm sorry, Blake, but I got the girl board again.
I know. Yeah, that's a boy. Just imagine that being a boy.
Yes. I have to make some wishes for Santa for boy practice boards.
Lucy asks, any tip to know if a boy is going to squint before you applying things on the eyelids?
The only thing I apply on the eyelids is like the blue parts for like Iron Man. Mm-hmm. And I always use the sponge for that. And if they are super squeaky, if I'm saying close your eyes and they're squeaking like a maniac, I just tell them, just like you when you're sleeping, and there they are relaxing a bit more actually. Mm-hmm. So it works better, and you can always take the white here as well for the highlight. So I'm never painting. You can always paint like butterflies on girls with the brushes, but the boys, they are not that keen on eye painting. Okay.
Right.
So I'm always using sponges.
Because they're boys.
Yes, because they're boys. So the final design for tonight will be, it's not a Marvel character as Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Thor is. So this is a little bit of a joker for tonight. Mm-hmm. It's a super popular design here in Sweden, and I think every boy knows who it is, and it's Bumblebee from Transformers.
Right.
Okay. So Bumblebee, he can transform himself into several different cars. It's the yellow cool car, from Transformer, and he is good. He's a member of the good Autobot. So they are like extraterrestrial, modular, robotic life forms. Okay. So,
of course they are. Of course they are.
Of course.
What else could they be?
What else could they be, right?
That's just.
And under the lead of Optimus Prime, and the Autobots are in an endless civil war with the evil Decepticons. Okay.
Exactly right. That's what they are.
I think you have all seen maybe some toys or seen the movies or like books of them. So they're very popular, and this design I'm going to paint today is very popular for the boys. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to use both single colors and one strokes for this one. Okay, but you can do just with single colors if you prefer, or just with one stroke. It doesn't matter. So I will first use like let's see. I have made this one here from Ray, and it
It's
is
the black and white
called.
one
This one is one that I uh,
you
made.
made? Right.
Yes,
Okay.
and it's called Robot.
Robot.
Robot. Okay.
Okay.
And it's a transforming robot. Okay, so it would be super cool. And let's see if we can find a good brush. Maybe we can take. mm, let's see. Yes, we can take a 5/8, or you can take a 1/2 inch, something like that. It doesn't matter. It's a big head, so we take the 5/8. It will,
Right.
if it would be a small kid, I will take the smaller brush. Okay. We're going to load it up. You can use like anyone that is like metallic, silver, gray. You got like chameleon swan,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Okay, I'm just loading it here. And I'm going to start with from the eyebrows. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going towards the hair. Okay, so just sweep.
Terry says these are all great faces. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, thank you, sweetie. Okay, so we got 2 there. And Bumblebee, he got 2 squares here.
Mm-hmm.
So we are just going to do like this. Okay. And then we're going to do one. The one here. And some here. Okay. It doesn't make any sense right now, but it will, I promise. It would look super cool.
It looks pretty good now, kind of in a club abstract sort of way.
And now I'm going to take a yellow one stroke. This one I also have made for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called Lightning because it's yellow, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the boys love it. So I'm just going to fill the space in here. You can use single colors for this, of course, no problem.
Fantastic.
And then we're going to, whoops, sorry, and then we're going to fill the space in here as well. I hope that your guys are painting along with me.
Well, they usually watch it afterwards. Ruth says, "Have you had any lockdown at all in Sweden?"
No, we don't have any lockdowns, but we got a lot of restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
And like the kids from 15 and up are having homeschooling and stuff, but no lockdown, no.
Well, what we call lockdown is probably what you call restrictions. I think they're pretty close.
Yes, it's not that. I know that they have been written a lot about Sweden. Like we have another strategy for this COVID, just a catastrophe.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's yeah. I've been reading a lot about Sweden,
We live
although
in that.
it didn't work quite as well as, you know, we were hopeful in America that you could just ignore it and it would be fine.
Yeah.
And that didn't turn out to be in fact true.
It was no problem. We haven't closed the schools here, and I think it's a good choice here because we haven't have any problems in the schools, but we have problems with a lot of problems at work or at shopping malls and stuff like that. So, but not so much in school. What I know right now. So, okay. So here we get this, and I'm using the Ziva blue, or you could take another blue.
Ziva blue. Okay.
This is Ziva blue, but if you think it's if you don't like it, or put another one, you can take whichever you want. I think it looks very nice when it is shimmering.
Yep.
So I'm asking the child to close their eyes here.
And what I forgot to write this down. Tell everybody what it was. What yellow was that?
It was the one that I have created.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but you can use like an ordinary yellow as well.
Okay.
Like Superstar or Craze or. But this yellow is from colors from Craze.
Okay, so I'll just put Craze yellow in there. Hi, Jennifer. Glad you made it. If you want to watch the earlier part of this will be on our Facebook page, so you can watch the rest of it from the earlier designs.
Yes, of course. We're at the ending now.
Yeah, I know. We got 2 minutes.
So, and now I got this really cool Autobot stencil. I got it from Diva Stencils. You get like one Autobot and one Decepticon, and you don't want to put the Decepticon here because Decepticons are evil and Autobots are good. So you have to make the right choice here, or the kids will notice it. Okay. So I'm using the Autobot stencil, or if you're very artistic, you can paint it yourself. On the job, I prefer to use a stencil here.
Okay.
So I'm putting it in the middle here, and I'm using a finger sponge with the carmine red. And just dabbing it on. There you go. And now we're going to make some outline. We are taking the waxy black and the number 3 one brush. Okay, so now we're going to outline it. So I'm starting here, and here I can just go around the eyes and down. So it doesn't take that long to outline it. Then here you could take up and up.
Ruth says you really have to know your bots.
You have to
know your bots. You have to know which robot is which.
Oh yes, it's very important. Trust me, they will notice it. if they like Megatron, you can use the Decepticon stencil.
Don't use Decepticon.
So I'm just going to outline it, make some nice details here and there, and some lines here. You don't have to make the line perfect here. you get the cool. The kids will love it. They think it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and now we're going to make some highlights, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm taking some waxy white. And of course, you can also use stencils here if you want. You can add some dots here and for some textures on top of the yellow.
Mm-hmm.
I can show you some pictures.
This is quite a Bumblebee.
Okay. So there you got a Bumblebee design. Of course, you can also add shin part as well if you want. But this is my on-the-job Bumblebee.
Right.
And the boys love it. I could show you a picture. Here's my boy.
Kathleen said that was a design she didn't even know she wanted, and she loves it.
Now you want it. You will all put it on your menu. Okay.
Perfect.
So here you can see I made it on my boy. And here's, you can see the eyes here, the little highlights.
Mm-hmm.
But here I added a shin part as well. That is Bumblebee. Okay.
Right.
Hmm?
Perfect. Fantastic.
Fantastic. And we made it, Blake.
We made it. Well done.
Made it.
The stencil was, Kathleen asked what stencil was that from? That was Diva. We don't have it. Silly Farm doesn't have it. I don't know. But Diva's got him.
Diva, God, it's like, I think you have to search. You can't search Transformers. I think you search like something like transforming vehicles or something like
Mm-hmm.
autos, something. And then you will get one Autobot and one Decepticon stencil. So it's a duo package.
Lucy says, and where do those stems? Yeah, I think just go to Diva. And Lucy says, thank you so much for this class. Ruth says, brilliant. Erica loves the Transformers. Karen says, you're awesome. So thank you, everybody, for watching this.
Thank you, guys. Stay safe and hold on. And I love you all.
Next week, we're going to have Wendy LaBelga. She's going to do a Frozen Christmas designs. We're going back to the girls. And then we're going to skip the following week because it's, well, too close to Christmas to really do it, to pay attention to face painting. And so the following December 28th, we're going to have Andrea Nicole Mohe doing one stroke with Pro Air dips, which is interesting because I don't even know how you do that, but she does. So that's the good news. And I'll see you guys next week and have a good week and stay safe. Thank you very much again, Linnéa.
Bye.
Bye-bye.